Hello, everyone. Greetings to all of you. This is AY Tadi on this very important platform, the AY Tadi's Midweek Panados. Today, we have another exciting interview with one of our political candidates. We are starting right now, as we promised. I'm so glad to be here to talk with our brother who's here in the studio. Last week, last 2 weeks actually, I forgot to mention that we are doing this with the help of the Community Life Transformation Ministry (CLTM). Um, they they are operating everything from the CLTM office in Billiri at the camp center. So we're so grateful to the officials we have there who are working tirelessly to see that they connect everything that we need, the lighting, the internet, the computers, and everything. So we are grateful to them. Usually we give a few seconds for people to come in. I can see people are beginning to join. Once again, thank you for joining, everyone. And I will continue to reintroduce what we are doing as people come in. So we have another exciting interview this moment with our brother. He's going to introduce himself uh, in a moment. So as usual, please like the video, share the video so that others can see and join. And tell us where you're joining from, please. It's always important. We are always happy to see where people are joining from, especially when we see people from all over the country and beyond. We see people from every part of Nigeria and also people from other parts of the world. Though sometimes they don't mention it in the comment section, but they call me and they let me know that they watched the interview. People from Europe, from Australia, from North America, even from South America and other parts of Africa. People are watching this, so we're grateful for what you guys are doing, supporting us by watching this program. We're really grateful. The series we are doing is interviewing some of our political candidates, and as I always mentioned, the purpose of doing this is twofold. One, we want people to know those who are running for office, because they don't have money to go on TV or on the radio to advertise themselves. So how do we know? One of the ways we know them is by doing this. People will know who is running for office, what do they have to offer. People want to know, can they go and talk, in terms of representing us. So that is one. The second reason why we do this is to actually mold, shape, promote, and present these candidates to the electorate. We want to help them grow, and so this is one of the ways we help them grow, so that they are able to articulate what they have in their mind, what they want to do for us, and present to us. So by doing that, they're able to grow. We were supposed to have two guests today. So one of them, who is Mr. Nimrod Maron, is not here. Mr. Nimrod is running for office of member of Gombe State House Assembly to represent Billiri West, but he had to travel this afternoon, so he's not here. We wish him safe travels. So I'm going to start with the guidelines as usual. So these guidelines is both for our guest who is here and also to our listeners. Guideline number one is that for our guests, please think about this as a discussion, as just a discussion experience with me, not really like an academic paper presentation or a debate. We're just discussing. So relax and talk. Number two, this interview is completely issue-based, so we are not here to attack anyone. We are not here to speak evil of anyone. Even if you talk about your opponent, you should be respectful. It's not that you cannot talk about them. You can allude to some of the things going on, but don't disrespect anyone. Don't personalize the interview. We're talking about the issues. So number three, you have the right to refuse to answer a question if you think that you don't want to answer it or you're not ready for it. I always say that you have the right to talk and the right not to talk. But just know that this is an interview. When you don't answer a question, your viewers are listening, they may want the answer actually. So the answer is to help you promote yourself. So this is a platform for you to promote yourself. And then the last one is something that I will not mention here because it's only you. We usually say no interruption. So, but you are the only one here. For our viewers, once again, thank you for joining. We're interviewing one of our candidates today. Please write your comments, um, your suggestions and your questions, and even your critique of our candidate. But just be respectful. Be respectful in writing your comment. So we're gonna start. I would like to start by asking our guest to introduce himself. Tell us who you are, your name, your family, your clan, your constituency, your educational background, your marital status, and whatever you want us to know about yourself. So please go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Uh, I'm Nayako Ephraim by name. I'm from Komta, Tangale by tribe. I'm from Nade family, that's my clan. I was born and brought up in Komta. My father's name Daniel Nayako. Nayako was my grandfather. I I hold diploma in marketing from Ramat Polytechnic Maiduguri, a higher national diploma from Federal Polytechnic Bauchi, a BSc in business management, Bayero University, Kano. I am certified by Nigerian Institute of Management. I'm also certified by Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. I'm a student member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. I work for about 1.5 decades, that's 15 years as a banker. So I rose through the rank to occupy the seat of accountant. So I'm the accountant of Tangale Microfinance Bank. I am conscientious, I am adequate and capable of handling or representing my people in Billiri East. Presently, I'm the flag bearer of the new Nigerian People
Can you
Party.
increase your voice, please?
All right. Presently, I'm the flag bearer of the new Nigerian People Party, which is NNPP. Party me alama kayan daɗi. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ephraim. As I always say, I don't use the title honorable. I know when people are running for office, they use that. So that is not to be disrespectful to you. It's just that this is an official interview. Honorable comes when you are elected and into office and you are installed. So just permit me to use the title of Mister to call you. Um, so
No problem.
you have a really interesting profile. Um, a lot of education, a lot of certification, a lot of work experience that you have. I actually didn't know you had all this. Actually, I knew you, but I didn't know you have all these certifications and all these educations from national diploma to higher national diploma to BSc, and to two certifications. So I want to ask some questions here regarding your education. You your diploma is in what?
Marketing,
Marketing. Then your higher national diploma is in what?
business administration and management.
Okay, and then your BSc is the same thing, business administration and management.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
business management. Yes,
wow. So you have training in the area of business and management, and then you
yes.
have certifications. Two of them. I was trying to write the two of them. One is
Nigerian
management
Institute
what?
of Management, Nigerian Institute of Management,
Okay, and
Chartered
then the
Institute
other
of
one.
Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria.
Okay,
Then on the process, there's ongoing program, which is student membership of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. That's ICANN.
wow. Wow, okay, that's a lot. So, you have all this education and all these certifications. and all this experience, 15 years working as a banker,
Yes.
you are a successful young man. Um, why would you want to go into politics instead of pursuing your career, becoming a banker, going to maybe reaching the peak of your career, becoming a manager in, either at microfinance or any of the banks around the country? You clearly have a really beautiful future in front of you in banking. Why are you trying to abandon that to go into politics?
Thank you very much. Life is dynamic, life is full of challenges, and life is full of experiences. Therefore, having worked for a decade and a half in banking sector, I think I have acquired a lot of experience that I also need to go and experience and have other experiences in other field of life. And also, it's only in politics that you have the right to depend your people and to promote and to mentor many, because you will have the ability and the courage to do that. So I desire to go into politics because I want to help my people. I want to defend the interests of my people. I want us to have a better place to live, a better society, a peaceful and level playing ground for everyone to excel.
Okay. Thank you so much for explaining that. So, with all this education and certifications and experience, how do you think all this um, profile that you have, everything put together, how do you think it will help you in politics?
Well, thank you for the beautiful question. I was trained as a manager. One of the fundamental work of a manager is to mobilize resources, manage resources, and resources could be human resources, could be financial resources, and could be material resources. So the work of a manager is the utilization of those resources for efficient and effective usage. So as I said earlier, I was trained as a manager. So I think my training as a manager will benefit my society because I, I was trained to manage people. I was trained to manage resources. It could be a financial resources and otherwise. So what we need now is not the availability of much resources, but the utilization of the resources for effective and efficient usage. So that
Okay.
the small resources at your disposal, you will use it to achieve a greater thing with management. So the word management is actually trying to tell you that whatever that you have that is a limited supply, you must manage it optimally so that it will be used for it will be used effectively and efficiently for a maximum result. So
Okay.
that's it.
Talking about management, and according to you, management of both human and non-human resources, material resources. Now, in the last 8 years, or actually last more than 20 years, the problem of Nigeria had clearly been that of mismanagement in terms of our economy, in terms of our human resources. People are leaving the country in hundred of thousands of people are leaving the country, from doctors to engineers to bankers like you. I know of a banker who left Nigeria as a manager of a bank, and she came here to the US, and she's doing a menial job here. Um, so people are leaving the country. Resources are not going around. There is clearly problem of management in Nigeria. Let's speak at a national level with your level of education and exposure. If you were to fix Nigeria, I know you're running for member House of Assembly, Gombe, but because of your training and everything you have, if you were to fix Nigeria, in terms of what is happening, there is gross mismanagement in the country. Nobody argues against that right now. regardless of party or whatever. If you have to fix Nigeria, tell me or tell your viewers three things, at least three things you would do to redirect Nigeria and put Nigeria on the right track to economic prosperity and human development. What would you do as a manager?
Well, uh, thank you very much. I The problem we have here in this country uh, is the improper allocation of resources. Improper allocation of resources. So, as I said earlier, we as managers we manage financial and human resources and other material resources. So, what we do is to mobilize those resources and allocate them accordingly. So, when you are putting an engineer to work as a banker, you have a problem there because he
Yeah,
will not perform effectively because he was not trained for that. So, and again, one of the problem we also have as a country is the government we have is the largest employer of labor, and in a country where the government is the largest employer of labor, the level of productivity must be low.
yeah,
So, whenever the role of the government becomes only to stabilize and to make a level playing ground for businesses to flourish, then it becomes you have a productive society, and you have people will the level of unemployment will reduce to some extent. But when everybody is looking for government work, then that's where the problem lies, because in government the only thing they said there is the job security, that even if you are not working they will not take you out of the organization. But in a private organization, they must score you. You must have, it must give, your promotion will be by level of your productivity. If you go to occidentalized society where things are working very effectively, if you call somebody to work to come and work for government, he will laugh at you because he prepared to work and be paid on hourly basis. So, one is to privatize and to make sure that businesses are flourishing. The government also should be interested in businesses to take over, because when businesses are performing optimally, the government will get adequate taxes, so the revenue of the government will increase. So, and when you have laws that mandate and impose employers of labor to allocate human resources accordingly, you mobilize them and allocate them in various places that they can be productive, then you have a prosperous nation and a stable economy. So I think number one is to make sure that those government make sure that businesses are performing optimally. Number two is to make sure that the role of the government is to stabilize and make businesses to flourish. That's to provide a level playing ground for everyone to come in and do business and get uh, get the reward of
okay,
investment.
okay.
So, that's
Okay, thank you so much. I would have liked to talk more about those things because those are some of my concerns. But we want to limit. It's good to talk about issues at the national level. But I brought that because of your experience and education. But we'll limit our discussion to Billiri and Gombe State probably. But I want to say this very quickly to our viewers. Our brother actually hit the nail on the head. He really touched somewhere that is scratching about the issue of employment, which is really, really one of our major problems in Nigeria. And I've talked to many people. It's surprising that a lot of people, or a good number of people in Nigeria, don't really even understand this. That the issue, the situation in which we find ourselves in Nigeria, where The government is the largest employer of labor, and you can't even get a job until a politician is there for you, until a politician takes your name. Politicians now are employers. We, the masses, employ politicians to go and work for us. But they turn around and then they decide who gets what job and who gets promoted. As far as I'm concerned, this is one of the major problems we have in Nigeria. Politicians should have nothing to do with getting employment. Like a young person should finish university, and the office that's um, looking for someone to employ should have criteria for that, and they should conduct the interview and select the best person to be in that office. That is no more happening in Nigeria. This is how advanced society, civilized society, industrialized society function. This is almost zero in Nigeria now. Even what do you call them? The military, like army, air force, navy. You need a politician to get a job for you in that place. The military, something that's supposed to be completely independent from government. Politicians determine who gets into the army. Once a country gets to that level, that country is just on her knees. That country is just on our way to extinction. That is where we are right now. That is one of the heartaches that I have. That is like one of the things that really troubles me. When I hear that a politician has given employment to 20 people, I'm not happy. If most people know who know me know this. When a politician gives a job to 30 people, I'm not happy about it. But I understand that that is the situation. For now, that is the only thing they can do. That is achievement, political achievement. But in reality, that means we are going backward. We are not progressing. This is my comment actually on this. I could have really gone into this to discuss with him because he knows this stuff. But another thing is allocation of resources. Now, I want to talk about that in relation to the office you're running from. Sorry, you're running for. You're running for the office of Member House of Assembly to represent the good people of Billiri East in the Gombe State House of Assembly. Let's talk about allocation. In recent years, the present governor of Gombe State has not been doing his best in terms of allocating things to Billiri, in terms of bringing developmental projects in town. Um, if you win this office, what would you do to address this problem?
All right. Thank you very much. First of all, in every organization or in every setting, uh, there must be there must be a blueprint. There must be a blueprint because maybe in the next 10 years, how is Gombe supposed to look like, or in the next 20 years, like in form of a strategic plan, yeah, a long-term plan of how things are supposed to work, how to mobilize resources, how to allocate those resources in various sectors of the economy of the state and the rest, how to build infrastructure and the rest. So this blueprint, or I can say a strategic plan, help the organization or a community or a state to to measure the level of success it's achieving. So in a situation where this strategic plan must be broken into uh, into smaller plans, like in the form of budget. So that's why every year a budget must be brought to the House of Assembly for for scrutiny. So this strategic plan will be broken into a smaller plan, like in the form of budget, and in the budget there must be allocation of these resources, how to mobilize these resources, and how to allocate them accordingly. So one thing is every member of the parliament is supposed to have a copy of the budget. So at the so time, there should be so thing in Billiri and in all other part of the states. So when things are not going right, you have the right as the representative of the people to ask, why is my constituency left behind? So that you will be representing the people, not representing yourself, because it was stated in the budget that by so 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 period you should have this and that. So when things are going elsewhere and you are denied the privileges and right which you are supposed to enjoy, then you must raise an eyebrow as a legislator. So in terms of developmental project, you have the right to because one of the role of the legislator is to make sure that he controls the executive. Because if the executives arm of government are allowed to function independently, then they will just be doing things at their own will. But the, the legislator is supposed to raise an eyebrow where things are not going in accordance with the budget that is approved in the national in the parliament. So I think there is need for our representatives to raise an eyebrow where necessary. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So the function of oversight is one of the critical function, the trifold function of legislature. Now,
Yes.
that is true in principles, on paper, in the books. That is true, but in reality, we don't see that, especially at the state level. As I mentioned last week, mostly the legislature or the legislators, let me say, be specific, the legislators are usually in at the state level just rubber stamp for the governors. The governors, Goodluck Jonathan told us in 2013, 2014 that the governors in Nigeria are more powerful than any other person in the country, including the president, actually. That is implied in his statement. So the governors don't seem to listen. You can't control them. Rather, they control the legislators. They buy them cars, they give them money, they threaten them, they do all they can do to see that they just do whatever they want to do. What would you do differently to ensure that, as a legislator, you don't allow that to continue?
Well, thank you for a beautiful question. I I want to give God the glory because things are not static, things are dynamic. Even the politics is changing. People are beginning to be enlightened about their right and privileges in the society. You know, as enshrined in the Constitution, the right to vote and to be voted for. And the democracy, as defined by experts, they said is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. I'm very happy because nowadays it's not all about the party system, but it's about candidate. If you are a good party and a big party and you decide to choose anyhow candidate, the masses are now protesting against. And they can vote out those who are not competent and they are not patriotic and they are not good leaders. So as a leader, you must be selfless type of a leader. You must be credible. You must have a sense of judgment. You must be fair in your dealings with people. You must have a sense of equity in dealing. So it's not all about party now. It's all about candidature. I believe that people from different parties will emerge to the assembly, to the parliament.
Mhm.
So when people are coming by competency, then they will never be a robust
Okay.
legislators.
Okay.
But when you put the right people at the right place, you have a very sound parliament, and issues that will be deliberated on the parliament will be the ones that will bring growth and prosperity to the land. Even as the scripture says that righteousness exalt a nation. So when the right people is done, then you expect a result. But
Yes.
when you choose anyhow leaders and you expect them to do the right thing, then you are only fooling yourself, because there is no how you will just have it right. So until when we decide to do the right thing, then we have the right thing. So it's not
Okay.
all about praying, it's not all about fasting, it's not all about this and that, but it's about doing the right thing. You just have to put the right person at the right place so that you
Yes.
will do the right thing for
Yes.
the
So I,
community.
I I I get what you are saying. So the main thing is, for us to be able to stop, that problem we have at the state level where governors turn legislators into rubber stamps, is
Mm,
to vote people who are competent, who have integrity, people who can really represent us, not people who just dance to the tune of the governor.
definitely.
um, so we have so many people running for the same office we're running for, in Billiri East. And you just talk about getting the right person. It's not about party. So, like in Gombe, we have APC. So it's not about APC. And then we have PDP, another very strong party in the country, nationally, and also at the state level, and especially in Billiri, PDP is really strong, in terms of the traditional political structures, because things are changing. But in terms of traditional political structures, PDP is strong. So the question is this: since we are looking for the right person, or most competent person with integrity, person that will really represent the people and not represent the governor before the people, why do you think you, Ephraim Nayako, is the right person for the job, among all these people running for office? Different kinds of people with different kinds of educational background and experiences and age group, and people who are really good. Why do you think that the people of Billiri East should vote you to go and represent them and not the other ones? Why do you think you are the best candidate?
Well, number one is we must provide options to our people. We as as Tangale people, that's the point of our unity. Because number one, we are Tangale before becoming any other, before choosing our political parties and the rest. So, like me, I was born and brought up here in Billiri, and so all other candidates, they are born and brought up here in Billiri. So, our life is on the table. Every candidate is on the table for people to make a choice. Because when you have a limited choice, then you have limited decision to make. But when you have more options, then you you have uh, you have you have the right to choose among the alternatives. So what makes me to stand out in the race is because like I said earlier, I have worked in Tangale Microfinance Bank for about 15 years now. And I was employed on the 29th of August 2007. Uh, so on the 29th of August this year, I'm 15 years in service. So I have worked with people from the community. They know me, and I know them to some extent. So I have given them my best, and they have seen how I relate with people and how I do my things in the community, how I interact with them. I think the masses are the judge in this case. So the only thing is that the five of us that are running for this political post, then the people are the judges. They should put us on the table and look at the one that is competent and adequate to
Okay.
give them what they need.
Okay. So you're saying that people know you and they know your ability and what you're able to do. Majorly because of the 15 years you are put in working for the Tangale people at the Tangale Microfinance Bank. What is your current position?
I'm the accountant of the bank.
Okay, the accountant of the bank. So this actually brings us to something that I have in front of me here. One of the things that your critics have been saying, uh, is the fact that, one, so it's related to your job at the Tangale Microfinance Bank. They're saying that you are using your connections and your influence through Tangale Microfinance Bank to run for office, which they think that is not appropriate. Um, You've been so all this while, all the thing you've been doing, um, helping people with loans, helping people, start account, connect things. You are doing this so that when this time comes, you'll be able to, um, win the heart of the people. So they are questioning that you use your position in your place of work to prepare yourself for this. That is one comment your critics are making. Another thing that your critics are saying is that you tend to have integrity problems because you have had financial problems at the bank, and also problem with loans. Issues with people who went to collect loans. So they think that your experience at the bank is actually a minus to you and not a plus. And what is your take on that? How would you respond to that?
All right, that's beautiful. I am happy because there is nothing on earth that you will do that people will not talk on. So I am confident. I'm happy because it's only when people talk then you readjust and you move on in life. So number one is that I have been a humble servant of the bank, or I can say the servant of the people. So I came in, uh, uh, you know, for example, those who are aspiring for this seat, there is no life that just start now. It must start from yesterday, then to today, then maybe you expect what will come tomorrow. You know, from the beginning of my life in my community, they know me very well. They know what I can do and what I cannot do. In my working place, they know me very well. They know what I can do and what I cannot do. So I want to believe that the way I started working and behaving in the bank from the beginning when I was employed, is I have been maintaining this status quo till to date. So, when I entered the bank, I don't have the intention of running for the office of State House of a member of the State House of Assembly. So this is something that came up now. And if my behavior has been different from the beginning, then I change now because I want to run for office, then it should have been the case. But I have been maintaining my relationship with people because I know it is an asset to have a quality relationship with people. I respect people not because of anything, but because I felt they are human beings like me and they deserve to be respected. Because me as the head of staff, because the accountant is the head of staff. So me as head of staff, I used to observe carefully on how my staffs relate with our customers. Because I used to call some of them and tell them that, see, if you are looking at this man as an illiterate, can you imagine maybe he has a graduate, somebody who is graduate, who is more even intelligent than you, who is more richer than you, who is more qualified, who if you are to compete with, you cannot compete? If you are proud that you are educated and you have experience, don't you think that he has somebody under him that is more educated and experienced and well behaved than you? So I always used to call my staff and instruct them and give them warnings and tell them that it is good to respect people because you don't know who they are.
Okay.
So I want to believe that it is all about criticism, and that one is allowed. People are allowed to say what
Okay.
is in their mind.
Okay. Okay. What about the issue of loans and financial problems with people? What would you say about that? Have you had problems with people with regards to money at the bank, or with regard to loans that you promised them, or things like that? And that is one of the things your critics are mentioning. So what would you say about that?
Well, as I have said earlier, my first discipline is in marketing. I was trained as a marketer, So, and one of the role of a marketer is to make sure that customer is satisfied. So, I want to believe sincerely that if those people will be fair to me, I never get comfortable until my customers are satisfied. I make sure I go out of my comfort zone to make sure that they are satisfied, they are stable, and they are okay.
Okay.
So, maybe you cannot be 100%, but I want to tell you that I have never for once been a credit officer. I am the accountant of the bank. That's the custodian of finances.
Okay.
So, but what one thing I know is that when customers normally comes for loan, I make sure that I follow up and make sure that things are done on merit. At times, someone will come with problem. Maybe it is health challenges, maybe it is school fees, and the rest. So, those issues that have time should be treated with utmost
Okay.
seriousness so that the problem will be solved at the appropriate time. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Now, thank you. Now, this question, my next question is very central. Mr. Ephraim, you are running for the office of members of assembly to represent the good people of Tangale, particularly Tangale East, but of course, we'll be representing the whole of the Tangale people. Can you tell me what is it exactly you want to do for the Tangale people? What is it exactly that you want to accomplish? What motivates you? What do you see as the problems we have as people of Billiri local government, as the Tangale people, including the other tribes who live with us? What are the problems on ground? And how do you intend to address those problems? Be specific. I don't want generalization. Be specific. What are the problems? Tell me one or two or three, whatever is in your heart, and then tell me how do you intend to specifically practical, measurable steps to address those problems that the Tangale people have.
No, number one is one of the role of a legislator is to make laws,
Yeah.
and laws are made to be in consonant with the lifestyle of the people. So laws are, you as a legislator, you must make sure that the laws that emanate from the House of Assembly should be in consonant with the lifestyle of the people. We have some sources of the law. That's the received English law, number one. Number two, the local legislative law, which normally came from the National Assembly, the House of Assembly at the state or the local government. Then the customary law. Then the legislature, which the member of State House of Assembly represent the state. As a member, be, I must make sure that I interact with my people. I must be organizing meetings so that I will get the inputs because I'm not representing myself. And any law that will affect the life of the citizen of my place, then I must raise an eyebrow to make sure that things like that did not cause problem. Just like in the case of the my tangle of a thing that was done, and it has seriously bring a lot of setback. So me as a legislator, what I will do, I will make sure that the laws that are made in the National Assembly are the laws that will be in consonant with the traditions of the people, because people are trying their possible best to preserve their culture and their tradition. So, and we cannot allow the culture to be abolished and be trashed out by people who don't know them. So we have a standard way of life, and this standard of way of life, as long as it's not repugnant to natural justice, then it should be allowed to be practiced.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ephraim. Viewers, once again, thank you for joining us today. I see a lot of people have joined, and they're writing comments and questions for our brother. Um, we are interviewing our brother, Mr. Ephraim Nayako, who is running for to become member House of Assembly to represent the good people of Billiri East. Um, we were supposed to have two guests. I want to repeat this because many of you saw the flyers. Our brother, Mr. Nimrod Malone, was also supposed to be here for the interview, but he had to travel somewhere. So we are not having him here, and we wish him all the best in his travels. Um, I encourage you to keep liking the video. Please tell us where you're watching from, and share the video so that others can join or watch later. Thank you for what all the good things you guys are doing. We really love you. We really thank you for what you are doing, and also a great um, thanks to our team at the CLTM office, Community Life Transformation Ministry office in Billiri, for putting this together. I'm using my internet here in the US, and they set up the internet and lightning and everything in our office in Billiri. So we're able to do this. So this is really great. We thank God for technology that we're able to do this. I want to go to the comment section and see if we have some comments, some questions, or suggestions for you, and I'm going to be reading them. Um, I see our brother Batmila Mela is saying, following from Gombe State, more grace to you, sir, for this remarkable initiative. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Our brother Amatiga Ilan Abbott, who is also running for a similar office in Billiri West, he says, watching and listening from Gombe, Nigeria. Keep it up. Wishing my brother and colleague in the making a successful interview. Thank you so much, Pastor A.Y. Tadi. So I believe you are in the same party, NNPP. So he's throwing his support behind you. Let me see. There are many people here saying they are watching from different parts of the country. I just want to read those who have comments. I believe I saw one other comment. Husseini Jato says, improper allocation of resources or poor implementation. Please justify this as a lawmaker to be. So it's talking about one of the first things that we discussed. One of the problems that you listed was this in the country generally. And in Gombe State specifically, is that problem of improper allocation of resources. He's saying that it should be poor implementation instead of improper allocation. Can you please react to that?
Well, but you know, as I said earlier, could be financial resources, and could be material resources. Even during employment, you find out that people and by their expertise, issue of who you know, the issue of godfatherism has collapsed. Does make it ineffective and inefficient. Allocated when human beings are not allocated, you would not expect a better performance. A computer science and you are working in a place that is related to your field, but in a situation whereby somebody who undergoes a different training and is practicing, he knows somebody in the organization for allocation of the resources. Financial, even the financial and maybe the implementation, let me use it that way. You know, done on merit. You know, places that some infrastructure, they will be taken out somewhere because they have somebody who is there and he is from that particular place. So people are just uh, on places, their people, and the
Okay.
rest. So resources are not allocated accordingly, and that's what I mean by improper allocation
Okay.
of resources.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a comment from Babaji Emmanuel. He said Gamzaki has been a fighter for the sake of Tangale. So can you please ask him how he intends to continue in that direction? I think we've answered that question. I have asked you what exactly do you want to do for the Tangale people. Thank you for your comment, Babaji. Sam Pilau says, when as a lawmaker you realize that the budget proposal of a preceding year did not capture your local government, how can you go about ensuring you influence the budget process to capture your LGA? Excellent question. Can you respond to that, please?
Well, you know, when uh, when the budget is prepared, the budget must come to the house for deliberation. Then maybe even before the time of the deliberation, before the time of the sitting, a copy should be given to each legislator, and you must have gone through it to make sure that those things that are supposed to appear in your constituency are there, so that you will know that the budget is very balanced, that every community is allocated, is the allocation of the maybe infrastructure is balanced. That's everybody have his own share in the budget. So at the process of implementation, you as a legislator, you must make sure that things that are supposed to happen in your constituency uh, are going, because you must be on your toes. You must be on your toes. You must be up and doing, following up. Make sure that things are done correctly. That even the things that are supposed to be done, they must be done according to their specification and their quality.
Okay.
So follow up is necessary. You must follow up and make sure that things are done accordingly.
Okay. Thank you so much. Viewers, once again, thank you for joining. Tell us where you're watching from and like the video and share it so that others can watch even after we are closed. I want to use this time to um, announce that we've started receiving our videos for the 2022 um, Christmas children Bible recitation. So those of you that are working on your kids with that Bible memory verse or recitation, please keep working very hard, and you can start sending the videos to me. We're gonna collect them, put them together, synchronize them, and then we'll make it available to the public globally early December. So please do that between now and November. Also, our the CLTM and ACM City of Bethlehem program that we had last year in Billiri. We are repeating it this year. So there will be a city for people to come and pay homage to the baby Jesus. And I think it begins on second Sunday of December. That should be like the 11th or so. So that is just a quick announcement there. And Ila Kontongs, so we are continuing with the comments. Ila Kontong says, watching from Billiri presently, and I want to use this platform to invite our people to Christian Youth Summit Town this weekend on the 18th and 19th. Okay. Yeah, please, I encourage people to go and praise God over there and worship with the team that is coming for this program. Thank you, our brother Ila. So let me see if we have any other comment. Onesimus Otinel, let me see. Onesimus Otinel said, Gaskia, with this interview, we now know the reason we are supporting him. Many have contacted me now to join this movement because of the competency they see in him. Now, Billiri is saved by God's grace by Nyako Ephraim. Okay, Gamzaki has done his best, and Nyako will continue. Okay, good. So, this is one of your supporters, obviously. His comment actually brings us to um, something that some of your critics have pointed out. Um, they say that there is no balance in the political equation in Billiri East if you are running for office, while you know very well that Honorable Rambi Ayala, the honorable member representing Billiri East, currently in the Gombe State House Assembly, um, is the one who is leaving office, and you, from the same ward, from the same area, probably from the same voting unit, polling unit, or whatever, you are running for the same office. So the question um, is the office only for the Komta people? Is this office only for the people of your ward? You are from the same ward. So they are saying that this shouldn't be your time. Somebody, you look at it nationally, this is the outcry about justice and fairness to people of all parts of the country. The issue of federal character. So that it should be reflected in our elections. We have a president from the north, and we should have a president now from the south, which many Nigerians, right-thinking Nigerians, actually think that that is a fair assessment. We have a Fulani and a Muslim in office. We shouldn't have a Fulani and a Muslim from the north coming into office again. This is not about religion. This is just about being. This is about common sense, and about inclusiveness, including everybody in the country, based on how the country is shaped. So at our all level in Billiri is they are saying, well, you are from the same area, you're from the same world, you're from the same, kind of neighborhood or whatever they call it, probably the same polling unit or very close. You shouldn't be running for office. What is your take on that?
Well, it's a very intelligent question, and I want to drag us back to where I have started. I said, from the beginning, I said, I am Nayako Ephraim from Komta. I am 38. I blah, 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 blah. And I said, my clan is not there. So if you know the history of Tangali, we have seven clans in Tangali. And this seven clan of Tangali, number one, Tangaldong. We have Tal, we have Maganje, we have Tanglang, we have Todi, and we have Nade. So, and if you look at it very critically, you will discover that Nade people are all over the, 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 the Tanganyika. If you go to Todi, you will see another person there. If you go to Tal, you will see another person there. If you come to Tangaldong, where I stayed, you see another. So we are all over in Tanganyika. So I think I am even the right person to represent the people, because when I'm representing, I will I will be representing the whole of the Tanganyika, because in every community I have somebody who I will call a brother, who I will call a sister, who I will call a father, who I will call a grandfather. So, and if you look at the political equation very critically, I don't know, maybe you will go back to the history from 1999 till date. Is there any of these of these people that represent us that is from my clan, which is Nade? So you should not look at from the angle of being from Komta and generalize it. You should know that I belong to Todi, I belong to Tal, I belong to Tangalang, I belong to Tangaldong, I belong to every part of the community.
Okay.
So I am the right and the perfect person to represent the Tangali nation, because I
Yeah.
belong to Tangali and they all belong to me. Thank you very
So
much.
you're okay. So you are not there. So you're not the same clan as Gamzaki and Tangale. But in terms of political demarcations, you are from the same ward. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that Billiri North
Billiri South.
or South? Okay, Billiri South. That's correct.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Um, I have a comment from my big bros here, Dr. Eli Kerek from Kansas City in the US. Let me see what he says. I like the courage and confidence coming from each of these guys. Randele, that is the way to go. Let us keep this going. It will help the diasporans to know how to direct our questions and observations. So this is a very powerful comment. This comment is pregnant with meaning, coming from the doctor. Um, Thank you so much, our brother and colleague, Dr. Eli Kerek, from Kansas City. And I will repeat, for those of you who are politicians, especially younger politicians coming up, this comment is pregnant with meaning, and it represents the mind of many of the Tangale people here in diaspora. So I will leave it like that. Um, Yunana Yaro said, "Give me one thing you will do for Billiri East to make them remember you if you win this forthcoming election. At least one thing that nobody has done it before." Over to you.
Well, I, one other thing that I have not mentioned that make me to aspire for the seat of a member State House of Assembly to represent the good people of Billiri East is to make sure that I provide mentorship to youths because a lot of people are here dying with their talents. You will see a vibrant and intelligent youth, but without a direction. So, it is very painful. We just have to start seeing one of us or some of us here representing us in various aspects of life in the entire country. Maybe, you want to see a footballer just like our gubernatorial candidate is doing. We have people who are very intelligent, but they have no way to go. You will see them stranded and they will die with their intelligence and their talent. You will see a beautiful musician, you will see a beautiful sportman, but there is no support. So we just have to build ourselves. Even our economy is not in the hands of the citizen of the land. So, we just have to bring out those people and build them. As I just said earlier, that my own discipline is in human, is in management.
Management.
So all these, you just have to bring them out, make sure that you provide the necessary support that they
Yeah.
require, and boost them. I would not tell you that I will build this and build this and build this and build that. But I want to make sure that I leave a footprint of people who will be successful in life, and
Yeah.
they will that the footprint will be seen by all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That is very powerful. That doesn't sound sweet to the hearing of people, a lot of people. That doesn't sound succulent, but that is really powerful. Like that is what I would go with. And I will make a commentary on that before we close. But thank you for pointing that out. And those of you listening, this is where we want young politicians to pay attention to be directed towards. This is what has been lacking. Everything about politics in Nigeria, almost everything is, we have centered it on fiscal project. Even religious bodies, people who know me know that this has been one of my crimes. We focus on physical project. I will build this, I will do this. Infrastructure is good, but infrastructure is useless if people are not developed, if people are not mentored, if people are not, put first. So this is critical. Um, but it doesn't sound sweet. I believe some people want you to say, I will build a town hall center. I will do this. Those things are important, but believe me, building people is much more important than building structures. If you don't know what that means, then ask Europe. Europe will tell you that. Okay, so our brother, my brother Mahmoud from Florida, in fact, we just spoke this morning. He has a comment here. He says, over the years, the Tangale Microfinance Bank, as a tier two bank in Nigeria, has continued to harness the resources within the Tangale community. What is one project you can point out as a corporate social responsibility within the community you have been part of or you headed? This is a pointed question to you. I'm coming from the US. So what would be your response to that?
Well, is part of the is part of the the ideal practice uh, for every business enterprise to give out to the community, because there was a saying that said, "Let the cow that produce the milk be taken care of." So I want to believe that that as a Tangale institution, financial institution, um, we don't have any standing. We don't have any standing institution that is so powerful and that has employed a lot of people and given people a source of livelihood like the Tangale Microfinance Bank. And in every community, I know of more than 10 people that have been sponsored abroad by their parents coming to the bank, and they access facility. And at times when it is very difficult, we give some concession, we give some waiver, so that it will, because we know that we are developing the community. So if you go to all these schools, we at times used to visit schools and give some scholarship to the children, giving them, some outstanding student. We give them, we pay school fees for them, and the rest, the schools that are around.
Let me get this clearly. So you mean the Tangale Microfinance Bank has been involved in awarding scholarship to Tangale students? Is that correct?
Yes, like a once-off scholarship,
Yeah.
more especially those schools that do used to bank with us.
Okay.
Those who do used to bank with us. At times we provide those services to encourage them. And at times at the end of the year we visit them and give them some
what
gifts and the rest.
what level is that? Is that at the level of primary school, secondary school, or university?
It's secondary school.
Secondary school.
Yes,
Okay.
secondary school.
So have you personally been involved in any project that has impacted on the life of the people of Tangale? Just tell us one.
Well,
By the bank. The project is by the bank, but you are part of it, or you headed it.
one thing I know is that we always participate in the community in a
Okay.
way of in the way of visiting those who have been bereaved, and giving out support in churches, giving out support in mosque, giving out support in some other institutions, not just
Okay.
like in other, just like football teams. We have been buying JCs and giving
Okay.
them food, that's ball and the rest. So there are a lot. There are a lot of them.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay, so I want to read a few comments before we close. Mr. Abba, Mr. Dave says, Honorable Ephraim Nayako, you are thinking in 5G. I don't know what that means. Allah Maka Billiri is constituency. This is obviously one of your supporters. With the people of Billiri, we go vote for competent leadership, and you have the quality. I'm glad that the young people are talking about competency. I don't care if they are just supporting the person who is their candidate. But one thing is the word competency keeps coming. Peter Ovi has changed the narrative in Nigeria. It's about competence and integrity and the willpower to do what is right. Carter says a message to people of Billiri is, dear people of Billiri, is this is the right man to rule us. Not the right word, but it's okay. To represent us, actually. More grace to you, AY Tidy. Thank you, Carter. Emmanuel Danjuma Ladagla says a charismatic and people-oriented leader, an experienced chartered accountant whom impact has transverse political, social, and economic sphere. I like your track records, achievement, and wealth of experience. For me, they speak volume of the positive result, human and capital development if elected. All the best incoming member of Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. Um, I think I have two more comments before I go. There is one comment from MC last night. With this interview, I have found the full reason to stand with the right man for the service. And to LYTD more grace to the race, sir. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Um, So Carter has something here. Sir, the question doesn't mean anything competency. Good governance is what we need. If Nayako and Gamzaki are from the same father and the same mother, if something good will come out of them, all is fine. Yeah, good. I'm glad that the young people are thinking this way. That it's about competency. So we'll see. Uh, Somebody is the one who says the same thing, competency. This is Raw Credibility Human Development by Joel Joshua. So thank you. Let me see. I really want to go. So Mrs. Madison is saying, at the public awareness of this from the bank. I'm not sure what she's referring to. Maybe she's talking about okay, the opportunities. Okay, the opportunities. Are they from the bank? I think the answer is yes, they're from the bank. So she's saying that she wishes you well. She's from Abuja. So you can see, as I mentioned, people are from all over the country are watching this and from all over the world, different parts of the world, especially in North America, Australia. So as we round up, I want to give you an opportunity to defend this. Another thing your critics point out is that they know that you're getting married. You're running for office and you're getting married. But they feel that they're disappointed that you're not marrying a Tangale girl. You say you love Tangale people, you want to represent them. Of all the hundreds of thousands of Tangale girls, what took you to Mergi in Borno State instead of marrying a Tangale girl to prove that you love the Tangale people? You know, why are you doing that?
Wow, wow. Well, I thank God because of this question, because it's an opportunity to clarify. You know, I am I am a Christian. I am born again. I believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who uh, who make me the same with somebody who is in America and is a Christian. So the issue of tradition or culture does not comes in when you've accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior. So, and it's a predestination. There must be, God has destined it from the beginning that the woman I'm getting married to is the one that will be my wife. So, I have tried my best in many ways to see that I have married a Tangale person, but it's only the will of the Lord that prevails. There are many other plans of a man, but only the will of the Lord prevails. So it is God doing. So, and it has nothing with uh, with that. I think my mentor, who is Gamzaki, Gamzaki Tangale, because we are seeing politics from afar from him, and we are admiring the way he is patriotic about the land. It doesn't change anything about him. He loves the land and he's ready to die for the land. And he's marrying somebody who is not Tangale. It doesn't change anything. It's all about uh, destiny
Okay.
and predestination.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for responding to that. What are your last words to the Tangale people? Tangale people are listening to you, the people of Billiri East or Billiri local government, and beyond, the people from other tribes and both within Gombe State and outside are listening to you. What are your last words? But especially for the Tangale person listening to you right now, what do you have to tell them as your closing word? Maybe it could be your political philosophy or whatever you have in mind. Just tell us exactly what do you want them to remember about you. Why would you want them to vote you? Your last words in 30 seconds, please.
All right. I want to also thank this this
Platform.
the platform, the organizers of this interview. And also, one thing I want to say is that people are coming with money to buy our interests. So, and it is very possible that some people don't understand any language. What they understand is money, 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 money. So we must make sure that we have enlightened our people to know that it is good to have your future in your hand. So let's vote for competency. Let's vote for equity. Let's vote for justice. Let's vote for leaders who can give us the quality representation. We should not look at people and conclude that they will change. Use the data at your disposal to make decision, an informed decision, so that you will not regret your what you are doing. So if people are to be chosen by the level of their competence and by the level of their character, then I believe that everybody would love to have a good character, because he knows that one day it will be beneficial to him. So we should do away with money politics and embrace a free and fair way of choosing our leaders. We should remove biasness and embrace competency and credibility and character.
Thank you so much, viewers. We've been talking with our brother Ephraim Nayako. He's running for uh, to be member House of Assembly in the Gombe State House of Assembly, and he has been responding to the questions and suggestions and different kinds of comments from the people. So thank you so much. I want to say this quickly as I close. This issue of what is the purpose of politics when we vote somebody into office, what should be the central thing, especially in marginalized communities like ours in Billiri, in Gombe South, and other minority tribes and communities in Nigeria. What should be the focus of our leaders, especially political and even religious leaders? In my view, it should be this issue of human development, this issue of developing young people, investing in young people, this issue of mentoring young people, putting them in different spheres of life, in what um, the reformers, in the 16th and 17th centuries, especially in the 16th century, called the seven spheres of life. There are many of them. I will not go into that, but it includes education and entertainment and politics and religion and different aspects of life, science. I want to encourage this for those of you that are just coming up, politicians who are going into office. What will save us is developing people. No matter what you come and build for us, no matter what you distribute to people, you give them cars, you give them a sewing machine, you give them whatever, that is not human development. Development is empowering the people. In fact, when we say empowerment and you give people money and you give them cars, that is not empowerment. We are not saying that is bad. We are not saying it's bad to do that. We are just saying if you really want sustainable development of your community, you should focus on picking few people. It's not about covering all the words, like you want everybody represented. No. If you really want to bring change, what you need is that just look at the Western world. What do? They select the best and they look for people who are already doing something. For instance, you have to develop people into business. Don't go and say bring two people from every world. No. Look at people who are already doing business successfully. They are managing from their own pocket. They're doing well. Pick those people, train and retrain them, give them more capital, empower them, and put supervision around them. and connect them with people from outside their community so that they begin to see at what they're doing from a global perspective. Business now is global. Education is global. You can't educate somebody in Gombe State University or in Kashiri or in College of Education, Billiri, or College of Health Technology, Kaltingo, or Polytechnic, Kaltingo, or in Lagos or wherever, without connecting the person with the larger global society, so global community. Everything now is interconnected. You cannot succeed today in today's world by just remaining in your becoming a local champion in your local community and then you succeed. It's impossible. You have to connect globally. As I'm talking to you now, there are young people in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in southern Nigeria, who live in Nigeria, but they work with for companies across the world, in Germany, in France, in the US, in Europe, in different places. Why? Because they are connected. And because there are politicians and there are people around those areas, especially these celebrities, they pick, they select, they don't care where you come from. They select those who are really doing well. They are already interested in what they are doing, and they've been doing it by themselves. They select them, they train them, they connect them with international organizations, they give them focused attention and supervision. In the matter of 3 to 5 years, you begin to see these people going up because they have been building their businesses, they have been building their educational careers from the scratch. They are not self-entitled. They are not saying, okay, because I have this politician, or because I come from this world, that is why I am selected. Or because I have this connection, this person is a friend to this politician, and my name is included. No, but because I have a successful business that I've been managing for some time, even if there is struggle, now I'm being pushed to go higher. That is what will take us forward. But all these things that you just gather, somebody doesn't even know how to use a sewing machine. You're giving him a sewing machine, you go and sell it and drinks with it. That is not development. This is my view of development based on my studies and what I've seen in the Western world. You come to America, you see what they do here. They don't develop somebody who is just sitting like that. You cannot go to the market square or Bakintasha and pick somebody and say, come, they're going to distribute this for development. You cannot develop that person. That person can never be developed. You can only develop somebody who is already developing himself. Look at the market square in Billiri. Look at the Bakintasha in Billiri. Look at the youths who are already doing something. Go to them and meet them, pick them. What are your challenges? How can we help you? Help these young people to grow. Those who are already in school, don't give scholarship by just dashing money. 2 million, okay, go and distribute a scholarship. That doesn't really help. You cannot do scholarship like that. Scholarship, you select two types of people. Those who live in the Western world, they know this very well. There are two types of scholarship. Generally speaking, there are different ones. But there's what they call need-based scholarship, and what there's another name for it, but it's based on credibility. Based on your ability, your academic based scholarship. You look for people who are doing very well, very bright young people. Select them. Don't give them money just for 1 year. Put them under a scholarship scheme that takes care of them for 4 years. After they finish, have a trajectory for them. This is where they are going. And don't just give them money to pay their school fees. No. Give them scarfing so that they don't have anything distracting them. They're paying attention to their studies. Supervise them. Visit them. You don't have to do it yourself. You have to have a team. This is what I'm saying is an advice I have for some of our politicians. Those of them who think that we don't have anything to offer. But we couldn't tell them. So I'm saying it now. If politicians are listening to this, they should know. Those who are already in office. These are some of the advice we had for them, and they're not listening. You cannot develop our young people by giving 1 million. Okay, give scholarship. Then you go to GSU and you give everybody to 2,000. That is not scholarship. That will not develop people. Select people. Be focused, and let your developmental project be measurable. How do you measure giving 2,000 to people? They will finish it today. But when you select 5 to 10 people and you have a journey with them, which is a journey beyond your tenure in office, and I want politicians to begin to think beyond their office. It's not about when you are in office. Develop people in such a way that even after your office, the money you deposited for that project is still there working. You are no more in office, but you are still impacting people. If we can find politicians that can do that for the next 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 16 years, I'm telling you the truth, we will not need Gombe to move forward. We will not need the people of Gombe. They will come to us looking for us. If we develop people in business, we develop people who have skills, we develop people in education in that way, the sky will be our limit. International organizations will be coming to our community to look for people that will work for them. And we have all these connections. Those of us in the diaspora, we have discussed this with so many people. We have thought about this, and of course, there are some things that are on ground, trying to do something about that. But resources is the issue. Politicians have the resources. The government give them money to do some of these things. This is what has made southern Nigeria move forward, and especially the developed world. And I'm encouraging our politicians. This is the way forward. You cannot develop people by giving machine and keke and all those things. That is not development. And I'm saying this from the root of my heart with love for our people and for our politicians. We need to change. And my joy is that we are beginning to have young politicians that are thinking in terms of doing things like this, not in terms of sharing money. Our brother just said that it's not about giving out money. It's not about all this, money politics. We need to stay away from that. This is what the old traditional parties have been doing. APC and PDP, they've been doing that. We know that. I'm not condemning them, but I'm saying that we need to change. We need to really change the direction of the country. Nigeria cannot move forward by all this money politics. They give you Buru Shinkafa. How many days will you use it? You eat it, it's gone. So I encourage that we focus on doing the right thing. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you for the time. Thank you, our brother, for coming. We wish you well.
I'd like to
All
say
of those of
something.
you running for office, thank you so much. Yes, did you have
I
something to
would
say
like to.
before we go?
I will quickly like to say something because this will be very very important. That's why I insist I must say it. If you go around the town, you will discover that most of the people who are sitting idle are the indigenous people of the land. You if you go to all the business areas, if you go to Bakin Kaswa, you will see majority of those who are in Bakin Kaswa are not the indigenous people. They are people that came from somewhere, and that's where the business activities take place, and that's where money is moving. And also if you go to Bakin Tasha, that's Kantoma side, all the people you will see, 90% of them are not the indigenous people of the town. And our people have been sitting idle doing nothing, and that's why poverty is just on the increase. Again, we must have to be, we must have to be enlightened on the issue of, trying to engage ourselves because, an idle man is always a devil of a workshop. Again, also on the issue of migration, people are, the influx of people, the foreigners into the land. I am afraid maybe in the near future the land will be taken over if careful is not taken. Because when you look critically, you will discover that in strategic places where population is much, you will discover that it is not the indigenous people. And again, I will talk on this again. Is also not only I'm not only talking to people, I'm talking to myself, because for me coming into politics, I discovered that there are some things that our parents are telling us, and even the late my Tangle who died, he has, any church he enters, he will say, um, "Lalunkwadak mayawula kamayalai, mayawula kamayalai." Now I'm 38. I'm not married. In some communities, by this time maybe I should have a child who is about 15 years or more. And our people are not getting married early. Our ladies are not responding to marriage early. They would say, I must do this and that. And even when you get married late, majority, let me say 50% of them, they have to start treatment of toilet infection because before they start giving birth. And at that time the body system is not fresh to conceive very quickly. But people that the influx, the rate at which people are coming and they are giving birth, is on the increase. And before if careful is not taken, then I think it will just be sorry because
Okay.
they will be telling you where uh, this and that, all this and that. We just have to be focused,
Mhm.
try and do something to and the reason why I bring these two things is because when you are always sitting idle in majalisa, you are not doing anything, you will not get married then because you don't have anything.
Mm.
But when you are doing something, you have money and you feel you can take care of your wife, then at times even the ladies, if they see you are coming and you are doing nothing and there is no hope, they
Mm.
must decline.
Mm.
So, and this issue is very important and it's just eating us like a cankerworm.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
something need to be done about it. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you. Those are helpful advice. Thank you so much, Mr. Ephraim Nyako. We've been interviewing our brother Ephraim Nyako, who is running for the office of Honorable Member, Gombe State House Assembly, to represent the good people of Gombe East, Billiri East. One of our interviewees is not here, Mr. Nimrod Malon was supposed to be here. He's running to represent the people of Billiri East, Billiri West. That is from Banganje, Tangalantal, and the rest. He was not able to be here because he traveled. So we wish him well. So thank you all for coming today. Continue to share the video, continue to like the video, continue to write your comments. I will go back to respond to some of those comments that were not responded live here. So thank you. I wish everyone well. You have a good time, whether it's evening or morning or afternoon, whatever you are. Thank you once again, Mr. Ephraim. May God
Thank you,
bless you.
sir.
You have
Thank you, sir.
a good time.
Thank you, sir.